So what's up? I see you guys are looking for the pro-kratom candidate. And here he is. He said none of the candidates are pro-kratom, and none of the candidates that TV is going to advertise you are pro-kratom because they don't want you to change. They want you to be a slave. And see, it's not I'm pro-kratom, it's I'm pro-freedom, and I'm anti-terrorism. That's my main thing here. This candidacy is about anti-terrorism. And the USA government is the world's largest terrorist organization. It has infiltrated the United States of America, and it has taken control and hidden and secluded and erased the Constitution, all but erased. And so every member of the USA government is guilty of tens of thousands of crimes daily, hundreds of thousands of crimes yearly. And of course, each of them who have been in the government for more than a year are guilty of millions of crimes. So all their family's assets will have to be seized to begin the repayment back of the people they have been robbing. So I'm not just the pro-kratom candidate. I'm the candidate who's going to put them in prison and have them breaking bricks and picking up trash on the side of the road to repay you for the times they did rob you and put you in prison for kratom or whatever else. And I will destroy these people. I will crush them. And that's the bottom line. That's what's going to happen. Either way, even if you don't vote me in, I will lead an army against these demons, and we will take these terrorists to hell where they belong. Constitution is not something that doesn't exist. It exists. And these terrorists who call themselves presidents, police, FBI, CIA, politicians, they have moved in on this nation. And the Illuminati terrorists have moved in, you know, with the globalists, whatever you want to call them, the global Israelis, whatever. They have all moved in with their little goons and done the same thing the empire does all the time. The Constitution was created to subvert these people. It was created to make sure these people can never come back. We were a part of the demon empire, and then we told them it's time to go to hell when they gave us enough, when they tried to enslave us enough. And kratom's just another long list of their tax laws, which is what we fought in the first place. It's a cycle. Watch my video on the empire's history of drug slavery, drug trafficking. They are the world's largest drug traffickers, and they have to manipulate all these drugs to keep their prices high and all that. And I was just at a protest yesterday, and they're like, whoa, we got to be here and petition the representative, because I was like, why don't the FBI just arrest Trump if he's a criminal and they have all this evidence? And they're like, well, the Congress must vote to impeach him or whatever. Or you can't impeach someone in office. And it's like, dude, when I go into office, first of all, in order to change this nation, we're going to have to grab them by their necks and strangle them. And, of course, metaphorically, right? Because strangling them would kill them. And then they can't be slaves picking up trash on the side of the road for the rest of their lives. And they won't be able to spill the beans. That's important. See, the important thing I noted, I tried to get through at this thing I was at yesterday, is not arresting these people, not stopping these people. It's getting them in Gitmo so we can interrogate them, because they're a criminal organization working with many other people. And 10,000 crimes a day every government official is guilty of. They know this. That's why they have to create this system and continually protect themselves with guns and terrorists with badges, because they know they're terrorists. They know they're criminals. They have to keep keeping it together, and they know their boyfriend right beside them, Bobby. They know Bobby was over there, doing the same 10,000 crimes, participating in the same 10,000 crimes. They know everyone around them was participating in that. So it's not even about, none of this is about legalizing freedom, which exists. Just this terrorist organization has moved in and been these laws. See, none of these laws are real. They are not real. On the book of the Constitution, they can't invent these laws that they have. And this is no democracy. You can't be like, oh, stupid people voted for it. Ugh. The TV told people to vote for it, so they voted for it. And now the nation is no longer constitutional and full of freedom. It's like, my ass. If there's no nation with freedom, then let hell reign upon the earth. Let us all go to war until God kills off all the humans except for one or two that are left. And hopefully they'll be good, right? But this is just a step in that direction, and we can attempt to change this. Who's going to? These people are scared. These protests I go to, the people actually taking action get scared when you start talking about the truth. They just want to be like, let's legalize kratom. Trump's a criminal. Put him in jail. What does all this stuff do? It does nothing. Are you just selfish? You want to help yourself only? Or do you want to restore honor to America? Honor to our peoples? Freedom to our people? Instead of paying lip service, we restore the freedom to it. But I am the pro-kratom candidate, and it's much more than pro-kratom. It's, these people will be picking up trash on the side of the road for the rest of their lives, and all their assets will be seized. It's all criminally obtained assets, and it'll all be all those people in jail for marijuana, the people harboring them in jail, putting them in jail, making fake laws to subvert the Constitution and put them in jail so they can genocide the Africans and make weed illegal in Africa, and then so they can make it legal, make it doctor legal here so they can sell it through their dope dealing enterprise. That's all a large terror organization just trying to rob and enslave the population. So it's much more than legalizing kratom. You're going to be able to buy kratom. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be, but you're probably going to get kickbacks for like anytime you had to pay a high price on this stuff, anytime anyone went to jail for it. I'll be implementing laws where the government is forced to pay out of their own pockets when they violate someone's rights. When a police tries to, kill a black person just because he's black, and like they've done with my friends before, I had a little bit of marijuana when I was a kid, and they tried to get me to say it was my black friend's marijuana because they weren't dependent on the black man. Anything like that happens, there will be instant repercussions, and that cop will be picking up trash. Any cop who does that will be picking up trash for the rest of his life, and he'll be lucky if he gets enough pennies to eat weekly. They're eating way too much. You see how fat these people are? That is what greed and gluttony is. That's why God, they talk about it in religion, but you can see the Creator designed it. So when you're a greedy person and a glutton, you look like it. You look like Jabba the Hutt. You look like an enslaver. You look like a greedy glutton. This is God stamping something on your head. So the world sees you and stays away from you and avoids you and knows exactly what you are before they get to you. This is apparently to the Creator, this is a very important thing. You kind of do see a pedo, don't you? It's kind of like Joe Biden. They look like Joe Biden or Woody Allen. And they always do, don't they? So maybe, when you look like a sissy coward, maybe that means God stamping you on the forehead. But no one talks about pedophilia, so we don't really do about that. But everyone talks about fatness. And it's that greedy, gluttony sin. And that's why the cops and lots of the government are super fat. At the same time, though, skinny can be a sign just as well of lazy, greedy, glutton. I forgot lazy the first couple times because it doesn't work without that one in the middle. So all these people, they're just committing mad crimes right now. It's not, will kratom be legalized? It's, will the terrorist ever be put in Gitmo and stop terrorizing the earth? That's the important question, not when is kratom going to be legalized. See, why would I, if there's some dog running around biting everyone and infecting it with rabies, and then all the people are turning into rabies monsters, killing everyone because of the dog, I wouldn't go chop the tail of the dog off. I would go straight for its throat. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're going for the throat of the beast. We're going to bleed it dry. And we're going to share the spoils of the victory with all the people they have robbed. And the world will rejoice. You know, it says in the Bible that when Babylon fell, the world was so saddened. Not at all. When the empire really falls, and the empire didn't fall. That was a trick. That was the empire's trick to move from Egypt to Rome to UK to USA. That's just their trick. You think USA is 300 years old. You think UK is nothing anymore. You don't even think about Rome anymore. You definitely don't think about Egypt anymore, except for there's people trying to take it over. The same Pharisees Egypt kicked out a long time ago, trying to take it over again. So, at the end of the day, stop being so selfish and so coward. And let's go for the head of the beast. Let's go after the terrorist organization who has taken over the government and subverted the law. See, kratom isn't illegal in any state in America because we have a constitution that says it's like that. And we also have religious freedom. So if you're a Christian, it says right there in the Bible, the herbs of the earth were for man's use. So all things on earth are for your use. God, the creator, whatever you want to call this invention, these plants, this cycle of life wasn't created because it's evil. Trees are evil and they're demons. Ooh, plants are evil, demons. Oxygen is evil and demons better. Oxygen really kills stuff. Did you know that? Oxygen kills stuff. It oxidizes cells and kills it. Oxygen helps create rust, which kills metal, right? But not at all. Under the Constitution, oxygen is great. Under the Constitution, trees are perfect. Under the Constitution, freedom is free. And under the Constitution, terrorism is a capital crime, an executable offense. Violating the Constitution, enslaving the population, genociding the populations according to their color, their creed, their background. All this stuff is illegal according to the Constitution. And it's the Constitution that allows us to break free from slavery in the first place. But they've completely subverted the Constitution in the last 100 years. And they've turned it into some sort of democracy where... And it's not like you really have a choice. It's not like you're allowed to vote. And it's not like people who aren't educated really should be allowed to vote. People who watch TV shouldn't be allowed to vote because you're completely brainwashed. And I talked this... It was surprising to hear yesterday that one of the older people was like, they're just misleading all of us and they're giving us distraction. And it's like, yeah, we're here right now attending one of these distractions because they did the same thing with Obama. They're like, impeach Obama. And everyone was like, yeah, impeach Obama. Like everyone was sick of Obama by the time he killed Gaddafi, it's like no one liked Obama anymore. By the time that happened, it just solidified it. Obama had done nothing for the black community, which is all he was elected to do, pretty much. But that's besides the point. They're working for a higher terrorist organization. You got the Constitution up here, and you got the pyramid below it, and they're just blocking the light. The rays of light the Constitution offers to the people. They're blocking it. And the answer to legalize kratom is the same answer to people who are sick and tired of having their guns confiscated. And the guns are for this reason. The guns are legal because the Constitution says that these criminals are going to start subverting the laws. And you need the guns to protect yourself from those criminals. Although what does a gun do versus a tank and explosives and all that? They know that. I mean, that's why they're getting so ballsy. That's why they're so ballsy, because they've got steroids. They're on human growth hormone. They take meth. You know, the cops take all that stuff, and especially the military people. And I mean, even which of you in the general population haven't been prescribed meth because they're trying to chemically alter the population so we're superior killers and not. I don't think they care about the thinking part. I think it's just they know that if you're smart, you can be a better killer. So I think that's the reason why no one really talks about steroids and human growth hormone, but they're mad at the other stuff. And plus, it's worth a lot more money. And their little drug cycle. Watch my video on the where I mentioned a drug trade. That's like not the first word in the video, but I talk about opiates slightly, and then I go into the drug trade, how the empire has subverted all nations. Even China over tea once was a big problem, although it wasn't. At this time, we don't look at it like anything. Caffeine's real cheap. Just like everything else is going to be real cheap once I get into office. It's not, I'm here to give you a bunch of free handouts, although that's going to happen to some extent. There's only so much. They've stolen everything, and they've spent most of it. It's not like they've stolen everything and they've hoarded it. The Rothschilds and some of their banking pals, some of the bankers in America, some of the media people, some of the politicians are hoarding gold and stuff. I'm sure the Clintons and the Trumps are hoarding gold and valuable assets. And generally, I don't think they're going to have enough for me to be like, hey, we're going to give everyone $10 million each. But I'll reduce the price of everything across the board. Everything. We'll just reduce. And it'd be like anti-inflation. You restore faith. You restore honor. You restore respect to the rest of the eyes in the world. You've got to stop being so selfish. And you've got to, these people look up to you and they worship you. And all you've got to do is restore faith in them, because they haven't completely lost it yet. And the dollar devaluation goes backwards and the dollar's value explodes again. I mean, that's one method, but you just reduce the cost of all this stuff, because it's all like criminal empire taxes. You're paying like 70% of the money you make in taxes. It's a large portion. You're paying that much, though. You don't think so because you're brainwashed, and it's such an intricate system. I would say it's such an intelligently designed system, but it's not. It took them 100+ years to design it. They didn't really design it education intellectually, but they have successfully over 100 years designed it in a way to subvert your mind. And again, I'm the pro-kratom candidate, but will they ever mention me? I bet you can see in my videos, I've been in the face of InfoWars before. InfoWars reporter confronted them, and I've been in the face of other protesters before, and I've been in the face of CBS media. I've been in front of all the medias before, not necessarily directly interviewed, but in front of them long enough that they knew what was going on. That was the whole intent. And to put them on notice and to try to bait them and see if I could get their attention. I've been interviewed by Breitbart like 6 years ago. I've been in hit pieces other than that, like Israeli hit pieces like Richard Spencer, not Richard Spencer, Robert Spencer, the handler of Tommy Robinson. So we just take that system they've created, pow, crumble a little bit. The tip will break. Such a pretty tip of the pyramid. It just crumbles a little bit, and then you flatten them down, and then it evens out. But right now it's just like this because they want all the money up here, and you're just like flattened down here by this little small servants. They're servants. That was interesting yesterday at the protest. they use the word servants. I wasn't sure if I was around liberals anymore. It's like, you're using adult words here. You're actually discussing the facts. Generally, these people are in, well, I guess maybe it's because I was around the younger OWS people before, and they just, even at the time, I didn't know anything. So, that was interesting. You're all on the same page. You're all on the same page. You just don't know it because the media is telling you that you're all divided. The media is telling you that the liberals want this. Like yesterday, they said this is a bipartisan effort. It's like, thank you, liberal. Thank you for pointing out the fact that it's bipartisan. When they break the laws, it's bipartisan. Now the law's going to have to be broke when I get into office. It's going to have to be. So I'll create one of the first things I would do is create an elite force that protects me and enforces these laws as well. Because I wouldn't trust any of the current systems, and I would definitely thoroughly vet people. I would really love to put people I think I trust on my side, but you guys frown upon that. So I can deal with vetting people. I'm really good at analyzing people, so they would have to put some real good mind tricksters in there to get past me. And at the same time, I would probably want a couple in there to get past me. That way I could have the good people monitor them and tell me what they're doing and what they're planning, so we knew what their plans are. Been thinking about this a long time. A lot longer than it seems like, because the point is, in an insurgency war, you do not just come out screaming at your enemy before you're prepared. And now I'm fully prepared. So I'm coming out screaming at the enemy. And if you want that pro-kratom candidate, you're going to have a pro-freedom candidate, because other people simply aren't offering that to you. And I am. So that's that. You want kratom, you won't have to worry about kratom. Kratom will be the most legal. Everything else will be pretty legal too. You won't have to go through the terrorist doctors anymore. Maybe we'll have to put some sort of system in place to make sure people don't overdose on drugs. I'd like to make the argument that you shouldn't have to sign papers to get yourself some Everclear, but Everclear is a dangerous drug. I've damaged myself from drinking high alcoholic content stuff possibly. And smoking, so hey, nicotine is a dangerous drug, right? And vaping isn't much better. So that's just a new scheme. They're cycling in a new scheme here. It's not even vaping. It's like steaming. It's like hot, super hot steam getting in there. Vaping was a different thing. They've literally erased part of vaping with that. But off topic, kind of, slightly, barely. You just take the system and you turn it upside down, and it crushes the tip of the pyramid. And you can easily live like that. You don't need these scumbums living on the top. Like America wasn't even founded on scumbums at the top. That's another argument. But, America wasn't founded by anyone. It's 2 whole continents. But USA was founded upon breaking free of tyrants and terrorist empires, and now we are the terrorist empire, and maybe we can be the first people to ever turn an empire into something people enjoy forever, and we don't have to cast a magic spell on them to brainwash them otherwise. Pro-kratom. Jones 2020.